Hey Chanel. Okay, well, we have a few pictures here. I'd like to see you do more and find some actual sand maybe to work with. But all that said, this looks a bit out of focus, and I'm wondering if it's a tight crop, like using just a small piece of a larger picture, and that's why it's starting to break down and doesn't look so sharp. So be careful about cropping too much. You have to move in with your camera in order to get resolution, and cropping a little bit works to help strengthen a composition, but if we rely on it too much, then it really hurts the photography quite a bit. I like the collection of shapes though, and if we were to work with this harder, I would develop the light in Photoshop. So this one's sharper. It looks like the last one could have been a crop of something like this out of a much larger picture. That's my guess, anyhow. So why don't I work with this a little bit? I like the composition of this a lot, and I'm wondering, it's pretty good. I'm wondering how it would look in black and white if we strengthen it a little more. So let's see, I'm in Photoshop on the side here, and I copied your image. Let me bring this in and get the window sized here so you can see all the menu items. And edit paste, and a layer flatten image, and so it's one layer now. Okay, so let's see. Strong diagonal lines, interesting tones. This is probably my favorite of the group, and it pretty much is good the way it is. So this definitely is not a necessary thing here, but let's take a look in grayscale, and working with this as our focal point if I were to take this foreground triangle and darken it. So I select it with the lasso and feather it out like that, and I used clicked on select and mask to feather it, and then image, adjustment, brightness, contrast, brightness down a little bit, and that kicks our eye down into here more. And deselect, Control D. What if I did that to the water just a little bit too? Feather that out, image, adjustment, brightness, contrast, like so. Right, so here's the way that looks versus this. See how that's a little stronger in terms of focusing the light, and since it's not necessarily about the color here, this, when it's black and white, we get to see just values, and we can focus more on the structure of things and the shape of the composition and so on. So okay, same deal here. It looks like this could be a tiny crop on a larger picture, and that's why it's such a mess. Basically, there's very little resolution, and it's very blurry. So this one's better. Back to bigger again. How would I edit this? Copy image. I think this should probably go black and white. So File, New, and Create, and edit paste. Control V. Image mode, grayscale, and this whole water bit could go a darker. So I'm going to select it, feather, image, adjustment, brightness, contrast, and I may come back and darken it some more. This area here. What would happen if I brought light into here? So I use levels to do that. Control L, and bring a little presence of light in here, like that. Control D, water darker again. Image, adjustment, brightness, contrast. Just back and forth business is kind of, I'll say okay. I'm going to levels that too. I'm getting a little sloppy with this, but you get the idea. I might work on how the tone gets lighter up in this corner, but anyhow, you can see the difference between that and this. I did it a little quickly and it was a little sloppy, but you get the idea. And this is like this one. Okay. Same idea. It seems better, sharp, and I might do the black and white thing again, like I did on this one. Darken up here, bring the light in here. Good. See you on the blog.